Hello everyone, I'm David DeSantis III, and today I'll be reviewing the Jurassic World Rebirth movie that just came out. And to give some context into just me going into this film, I was super excited for it. I loved the trailers. I was, getting all my friends excited. I was ready to go, pumped to see this movie because I thought it was going to be amazing. And I was super excited because I love the Jurassic Park movies. I am a huge fan, just grew up watching them all the time. The first two movies specifically, Lost World and Jurassic Park, I am a huge fan of. I love them. I think both of them are almost perfect. I know that the second one isn't as liked as much as the first, but I still love it. I think the third Jurassic Park is also a lot of fun, though it's not as good as the first two. And then Jurassic World came out at just the right time. I was in middle school. I went with my friends for my birthday. I love Chris Pratt. It was just so awesome. And I love that movie, and I still do. I think that I know a lot of people who like the Jurassic Park movies aren't as huge of a fan of the first Jurassic World, but I still love the first Jurassic World. But I do remember the most disappointed I had ever been coming out of a movie was Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, because I just thought it was so bad. They got so many things wrong, and it was just such a bad movie, and I was so disappointed because I love these movies. And then I was equally or more or less so disappointed in Jurassic World Dominion. I still did not like it, but I was expecting it not to be as good. But to my surprise, unfortunately, what made me the most annoyed was walking out and both times hearing people, including my own family, say, wow, that was really good, or that was a lot of fun. And I was like, what? Like, no, like the last two Jurassic World movies have not been good. So I was super excited that they kind of just turned off that storyline and we're just giving something new, something fresh. Scarlett Johansson's a great actress. Mahershala Ali is also great. And the guy, I think his name's Jonathan Bailey from Wicked, he's great. So I was super excited. Also, the guy from Magnificent Seven, he showed up. I haven't seen him in something since like Six Underground, so that was super cool. And so I was super excited for this movie. And going into it, I'll start with some positives. One, I think that everybody is, trying their best in their roles. I think that for the most part, I like every role. There's not anyone that, for the most part, that I think is doing like a bad job acting. So I did like seeing them on screen. Some of the shots were, I will say, amazing, specifically with the boat and the mosasaur. There's a couple shots where it's very wide, which I love, wide shots of the boat and the mosasaur kind of like getting in and out of the water. Beautiful shots, like those were amazing. And there were a few others that I liked. And then other than that, I think we're going to get into the negatives. I think that there are a lot of problems with this movie. Unfortunately, I will say it was entertaining. I was not bored at all at any point in this movie, so I will give it those props because it was entertaining. But I think that there are a lot of issues, and I'll start with the characters. I think that characters are huge for me, and for everybody, but these characters are almost non-existent. There is next to zero character development. There is one 2 to 3 minute scene where they try and give character development to Scarlett Johansson's character and Mahershala Ali's, but it felt so haphazard. Like, it just felt like they were like, we don't really have characters. Let's write in this 3 minute scene, give them both a traumatizing backstory, and now you have a reason to root for them. And I just didn't like that at all. I just was like, this is not even character development, but they kind of threw it in there. And for the most part, other than that, there really isn't any other character development. With the family that comes into the movie, you could see there's some resemblance of development, but nothing is ever fleshed out. Like, nothing is ever brought to the basics. You just don't really see any character development happen throughout this whole movie, and I think it makes the characters really hard to root for and very forgettable, which Jurassic Park movies are known for its characters, specifically in the originals. There's so many just amazing characters, and each one you feel like you know them. And with this movie, they really failed with the characters, and that leads into my problem with the script. I think that it's not really the actor's fault that there's a lot of things going wrong here. There was a lot of things that felt rushed, a lot of scenes where it's like, oh, like that was maybe going to be cool, but you like rushed through it or made it so fast or made it such a like side point that I couldn't even take it in, and now we're on to the next thing, and it just doesn't even matter. So I think that there was a lot of points where I was just like, man, this script feels like it's lacking in a lot of ways. One of which is that it just seems so simple. I don't want to use the word dumb, but there are so many points in this movie where stuff happens where you're just like, man, like that is just, it doesn't make any sense. And it's also like, really, like that's what you want us to believe when, again, when it's a part of a franchise, you can base it off of the old movies. The older movies, even some of the original Jurassic World movie, have very good plots and have like when things happen and when things go wrong, it makes sense and you understand why, and like it's a reasonable way. But in this movie, there were some things that happened that was just like, man, I just don't buy it. I don't buy that is how this entire thing started or whatever. So I think the script just failed immensely. They didn't create a good story. They still didn't really explain in the trailer, so this isn't spoilers, but in the trailer they would talk about how they're going to get a cure for like heart disease. And in the movie, they said you have to get like a land animal, sea animal, air animal. I might be wrong, but I don't think they ever explained why you had to give one of three. They explained some of it, but they never explained why you needed one of each. And so there was just no reason for that. I just felt like this plot and this story was not fleshed out at all, not well thought. It was just put together so they could have a Jurassic World movie. And so that was very unfortunate to see and just very disappointing. And going along with the characters, I think that the actors didn't really do a poor job. It's just they weren't given a good story. They weren't given a good character. Including, I wanted to talk about Scarlett Johansson. I do think that she was also given a bad character and a bad script, but I was also confused by her acting at times. I think that there were times where like she was kind of happy-go-lucky and then not, but the time she was happy-go-lucky, it didn't really make much sense. So I was just very confused by what she was doing in the role and what her character was supposed to be doing. So that was a bit unfortunate because I was, she's a great actress. I was looking forward to her in this film. And so, yeah, overall, I think that there are a lot of issues. And I would say for a Jurassic Park movie, the main issue is that the dinosaurs aren't even really the main characters. Like, it's unfortunate that the dinosaurs aren't the bad guys in the movie anymore. And not that they're always bad because, they've gone back and forth with that. But there's barely a T-Rex. There's basically no raptors. All the dinosaurs now in this movie are like these mutations, and like the main bad dinosaur, which was horribly made and poorly used, none of them are dinosaurs. They're mutations. So it's like, are we even watching a Jurassic World movie or Jurassic Park movie? It's not even dinosaurs. So I think that, again, I think they've completely just jumped the shark in everything in these Jurassic World movies, and they continue to do that. And I think that this movie just kind of fell into the trap of, man, a T-Rex and raptors and pterodactyls, like actual real dinosaurs. That's all you need to make a good Jurassic Park movie. Like, you can make so many great scenes with those things. You don't need to make these mutations. So I also had issues with that. But overall, I thought that it was an entertaining movie. Like, sure, you can sit down and watch it, but it is not good at all. And I think that it definitely is unfortunate that it is a part of this franchise because of how great the originals are. And I do hope that one day they make one that fits into that. But I will give a review. In my reviews, I like to give a as unbiased as possible review, and then just my own opinion review. I rate them both out of 10. So unbiasedly, I'd say I'd give it a 4, I'd give it a 4 because, it is entertaining to someone who doesn't care about Jurassic Park and those things, and maybe doesn't care that much about characters, or if a story makes sense. I think that you could just have a lot of fun with this movie and come out fine. But I still think that this story, the characters, the dinosaurs in it really do lack, and that's why I would still give it a negative grade. And then on my personal grade, I would give it probably a 2 or 3. I'll go 2.5 out of 10 because, again, I think it was worse for me because of how much I love the originals and how much I wanted this movie to be good, and it really just wasn't. And for how this relates to the gospel of Jesus Christ, for every review, I talk about how every story resembles the story of Jesus Christ because the gospel of Jesus Christ is the original story. And so everything kind of takes from that. And so I've never seen a movie that hasn't. And so for this movie, spoilers, this is why I do it after the review, because there's spoilers. But at the end of the movie, to let everyone else survive, Duncan, Mahershala Ali's character, sacrifices himself and lets everyone go so they live. And that obviously is resemblant of the sacrifice of Jesus Christ for all of us and for our sins. And so I thought that was really cool. And they even resemble the resurrection, because he's like, psych, I didn't die, and like everyone was sad, and then he threw up another flare and they get him and he's alive. So it really does portray this sacrifice of Jesus Christ and his resurrection. So I think that was a cool gospel connection there, and I love doing that. This is my first review ever on YouTube, so I'm super excited to be posting this. And if you hung around for this long, thank you, and I hope you enjoy, and I'll be looking forward to posting more, and thank you guys for watching.